Welcome to Game Point. I'm Matt Smith.
And I'm Vernon Tucker, and we're here to talk about everything dealing with sports and pop culture.
This week on Game Point, Matt and Vernon are discussing Draymond Green's recent rant. Matt once again is asking for some respect on Steph Curry's name, and Justin Timberlake is crying a river on his apology tour to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson. And that's not all, so let's get into it, people. Matt, what's on your mind this week, my brother?
Well, Arlington, in honor of Black History Month and also with recent history in mind with Tom Brady and Michael Jordan debates about who's the GOAT and who's the greatest, I want to put some respect on Bill Russell's name. He actually recently came out and said it himself. You know, he let it be known that he's still here. But I think in the sports world, sometimes we typically just have a short-term memory, recency bias. So Tom Brady's winning now. Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and the guys who have won recently, they're front of mind. But Bill Russell has won 11 rings, 2 of those as a coach. Also, he has a gold medal, and he won 2 national championships as a college basketball player. So that's a whole lot of winning. My man is worthy of his flowers, his roses, and his respect. So in the immortal words of Baby, put some spec on his name. And that's what's on my mind.
I like that, Matt. That was a good one, man. Bill does get overlooked. But what's on my mind is Judas and the Black Messiah, the film featuring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Phenomenal movie. I think great performances across the board. Very important. The story of Fred Hampton's rise and demise, I would say.
A revolutionary. I am a revolutionary.
I wish it was more focused on Fred's story and not like the story of the snitch that brought everything down. I don't know if I'm wrong about this, and I'm open to, suggestion, but I think I feel a way about these actors from like the UK and from London coming over and taking these prominent African-American roles, We've seen it with Scarlett Johansson when she accepted a transgender role in 2018 for a film. The outrage was because she's not a transgender, so they asked her to pass on a role. So I'm just curious why, or if I'm nitpicking, if, this isn't an issue to you guys, but why we don't have that same type of command when it comes to African-American roles and the actors that we have that are home,
Yo, that's a deep topic, and that's definitely something I think we probably need to revisit here on Game Point, Vernon. That's definitely a lot to talk about there.
So, Matt, in the NBA world, after Monday night's game, the Golden State Warriors, they beat the crap out of the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? No surprise there, right?
Yep.
When I'm not around. But
Exactly.
It was final score, I think, was like 129-98. Draymond Green was kind of upset, not by this incident in particular, but he said some things about the owners and the management team deciding to bench Andre Drummond as they're trying to figure out a respectable trade for him to get him out of Cleveland. What do you think about what Draymond had? Or you know what? Let's roll what Draymond had to say.
And yet a team can come out and say, oh, we want to trade a guy. And then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer and he's not good in someone's locker room. And he's the issue. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have.
I hear what Draymond's saying, and I got to give him credit. I think he's pointing out some double standards and some inequities that go on that are not just in professional sports, but in sports all around. College sports, professional sports, you see ownership, or in college, it'll be the university get away with certain behaviors, coaches, but the players, like you can't switch schools if you're a college athlete. You can't demand a trade if you're a pro without a backlash. And I think Draymond is just saying, like, basically keep some consistency. If you're going to demand that the players act a certain way or speak a certain way on things or get fined, there should be a similar basis or rules for the ownership or for the university. I'm going to extend it to the colleges, to the universities. But the reality is that I think while he's correct to point out this inequity, I don't really see how you really solve it if you don't, as you spoke in earlier weeks, if you don't own these leagues. So,
and that's my thing, Matt. And I'm coming in hot on this, man, because it is wrong. And I'm not saying Draymond is wrong. I'm saying that the entire structure of it is wrong, right? So to me, it's bad negotiating on behalf of the Players Association, who they're supposed to be getting the best deals in place for these players to make sure that they're taken care of, right? And taken care of isn't just, oh, you have a check, now go shut up and be the $40 million slave. taken care of is I want my kids to be able to grow up in a stable environment and not have to bounce around from city to city. It's almost like these white owners, they feel as if they paid a check to you, that now they don't have to respect you. They can do whatever they want because they paid whatever the tab was. It's really on some modern day slavery shit if you really think about it, you know? And to me,
with the fact that in professional sports it happens in hockey, baseball, football, basketball, you think it's a race? I mean, I understand there is a racial component, but you don't think it's just a industry component?
Nah, I think for this in particular, like you don't hear about a fucking all-star and DeMarcus Cousins finding out that he's traded at the all-star game. You don't see a guy like James Harden, who is at the top of his skill set right now, asked to be traded out because of whatever the reason is. The owner, I read, is a Trump supporter. Like, he could want his kids to be in a better school system, but they'll leak stories to the press and to the media and try to tarnish that man's reputation on the way out. I don't ever see any of those other sports deal with their black players like the NFL and the NBA do. So it may be a sports-wide thing is what they hide it under, but to me, this doesn't, or this gets more attention than what those other sports get when it's time for a player to step up and take destiny into his own hands. Look at that letter from Dan Gilbert in 2010 when LeBron left. That was the verbiage of a damn slave owner, and a slave ran off the plantation. Like, there's no other way to categorize that. So to me, that's what they're really thinking about. You think Donald Sterling was the only person who felt this way towards black people? No, they all feel like that. But as long as you're putting the lights on in the arena and selling hot dogs and tickets for them, they'll continue to pay that check. So
there's a long list of egregious behavior between ownership and players. So this wouldn't be the first time. I do think there's a little bit of a nuance and gray area in terms of just the industry, but also, you know, the cultural factor. I think it is an interesting point you bring up. So I'm not mad at that argument.
My only concern is they play off of everyone's loyalty, and they sell this loyalty brand to everyone, to the fans, to the players, legacy, all this other bullshit. It means something. That's not the objective of the game. The game is so that these guys can get in, take care of their family, and do things that they love to do. They're fucking up the game with all of these business practices and displacing people.
Another element to it, though, not to belabor it, though, is the branding of these athletes, particularly the black athlete. If they don't behave or hold the company line or act a certain way, so there's this expectation of don't be a malcontent, don't be the bad guy. We need you to just, you know, sit there, be quiet. But and
from a fan standpoint, like, and you've had this conversation with me in the past, like, you guys have your loyalty to whatever the franchise is, whatever the organization is. As long as you guys are there and you continue to support them, irrespectively of what their transgressions are, it's going to continue to happen. You don't care who suits up for the Lakers. As long as they're the Lakers and they're in Los Angeles, you're going to be there. So to me, it starts with the fans starting to exercise their rights as well and get more behind these players and less behind these franchises that are just hiding whatever the real issues are.
I think it starts with the players leveraging their power, because the fans are going to show up. The fans want to be entertained. If we're waiting on the fans to launch the change, that's not going to happen.
I was a Philly fan when AI played in Philly. When they let him go, I'm going where AI is going. When LeBron left Cleveland, I'm going where LeBron's going. Like, to me, my allegiance has always been, once I saw the AI situation play out, to where the players are. It's not about the franchises to me. I could care. LeBron could play for the Cucamonga Cracker Killers. I would tune in to watch their games nightly if that's what LeBron played basketball at.
I just think now you're missing the point. You're changing the point. It's like whether it's the fans are following the players or following the teams, if anything's going to change between player-owner relationships, it's going to require the players to galvanize and use their power, or, as you suggested in the past, start their own league.
And that's what they're doing. And look at John Wall and Washington. You don't think they have kids who, you know, they're diehard John Wall Washington fans? They don't like the way he was handled, but they're going to stay there if they're a diehard Washington fan. So I think it goes both ways. It's not just, the onus is not just on the players.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of examples of ownership treating players foul. I just don't know the way the whole thing is structured, how you change this.
Nah. I gave you 9 years of my life, man. You sent me off with a tribute video, man. Get out of here. I'm not accepting that, man.
All right, Vernon, we're going to stay in the NBA. In fact, we're going to stay in the Bay Area. And I'd like to call this next segment, I Said What I Said. And this is about Steph Curry. A lot of people were, I think, discounting his greatness. ESPN's experts had ranked Luka above him. And I just thought it was a little disrespectful. And I think he's earned throughout his illustrious career, he's earned more respect than that. And if you look at what he's been doing right now, I think he's proving that true. But what are your thoughts on Steph Curry this season?
Let's go through what they're missing, right? The key piece that they're missing right now. That key piece is Klay Thompson, right? That is on most nights their second best player, right? Before the KD era, right? This team is hovering 500, Matt. Slow down, buddy. They're hovering 500. Let's not make it seem as though the team that won 73 games with Klay now is hovering 500, and we should put this enormous amount of respect on Steph's winning ability. I don't think anyone's ever questioned his skill. We know what he can do, but does 30 points per game, 50, 40, 90 transfer over or translate over to a record that is far past above 500? I don't think so. And I don't think we have proof that supports otherwise right now. They're slightly over 500, Matt.
That standard wasn't applied to Luka. He ain't won nothing, and they ranking him over Steph Curry.
You're talking to the ESPN experts and analysts. That's not who we're comparing Steph to. To me, yes, it's premature. They do it with LeBron every year, but that's not what this animosity or this prove yourself mentality comes from. You were big bad Steph running around, shoulder shaking.
He's never big bad. He's the baby face. He was never big. LeBron is big bad. Steph was never big bad. Steph.
He's a sneaky little kid who's always got away with sneaky little gestures because he was the baby skin or the baby face assassin. No, I watched him the whole time. I see his facial expressions. I see the taunting. I see the way he talks and the way those guys talk in that organization. This isn't
what's wrong with the little shimmy?
Lock your team into the playoffs before you start shimmying, brother, on your own.
All right,
lock
look,
your team
in the last 10 games have been Jordan-esque, I might say. He's averaged 35 points a game, shooting over 58% from the field.
You sound like these guys right now who are still salivating at what Luka is doing on the court right now. Win some fucking basketball games.
He's got jewelry. He's got rings. I'm just saying, if you look at what he's doing on the court, you got to put
wins. Does it transfer over to wins? Are you winning? Are you going on a deep playoff run? If that young man goes on a deep playoff run without the Klay Thompson guy there, then yes. Then I'll tip my hat to you. But before then, no.
Oh, wait. Well, you said a deep playoff, so they got to go deep in the playoffs. That's your standard?
Yeah. I watched the guys who you shimmied against, Russell Westbrook, Dame Lillard, all of those guys carry nothing with them to where they were going. So to
LeBron's first year with the Lakers, did they go to the playoffs?
Come on. We're talking about when LeBron missed a quarter of the season, Matt, because of injury?
Klay Thompson is not playing.
No. LeBron missed the quarter of the season. Not the second best player. LeBron.
Here's the deal. I don't appreciate your energy. I was just trying to say Steph Curry has earned and deserves some respect, and I expect you to do better, Vernon. Show him some love.
Game number 30 of the regular season, Matt. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, you guys love to do that. Like, every chance you get. See, I told you he can score 30. Yes, he can score 30. But if you keep fucking shimmying them shoulders, he needs to make the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. All those look around threes and all that shit. Come on, bro. Like, stop being sneaky with your shit, bro. Step up. Be that guy. Carry your franchise, Steph. We would love to see it. Waiting for it.
Clearly, I'm correct. You are not.
All right, Matt. I hear you on Steph, man. We'll see when the playoffs rolls around, brother. But moving along, man. This week, Black History Month, convenient timing as well. But Justin Timberlake decided to come out and apologize or make a public apology to Britney Spears, who, by the way, has a documentary that just came out on Hulu the same week, as well as Janet Jackson, for the way he mistreated them in the past, specifically Janet during the Super Bowl in 2004 with the wardrobe malfunction that Janet was forced to apologize about way back in 2004.
The NFL had no knowledge of this whatsoever, and unfortunately, the whole thing went wrong in the end. I am really sorry if I offended anyone. That was truly not my intention.
Do you think Justin's apology is sincere and should be accepted?
I think it's a little bit or a lot of bit late. Like, obviously, and with the fact that Justin's got his movie, Palmer, that just came out in January.
There's something seriously wrong with that kid.
You got no right looking after any child.
it's hard for me to just take it as just authentic and just sincere. I feel like it's a little bit like PR move. Let me, as I'm promoting this movie and I heard what's coming out with Britney's movie, let me get out in front of this. Like you had a lot of time to apologize. But at the end of the day, I'd say an apology, if you need to make one, it's better that you eventually make it, but I do kind of side eye the 14 or 20, I don't know, 20, almost 2 decades.
Nah.
No?
To me, I disagree. I disagree with, he shouldn't make the apology. Like, just leave it alone, bro. Because at this point, you don't hold something in for 16 years, watching these women be destroyed the way they were destroyed in the public eye, specifically Janet. Like, she was forced to apologize for something that I'm sure both of them corroborated on to make sure that, this was the peak of the performance, or it was a viral moment before viral moments during that performance. So to me, it's just too convenient for you to slip in the Janet apology while the Britney thing is in the headline. If you're really sorry about what you did to Janet, you could have found time in those 16 years and gave her own independent apology and left it at that. To me, it's all performative again, and I'm not here for that, man. And it sucks because Janet, she's handling it better than the Black community is, or the Twitter Black community is.
How so? What do you mean? You break that down for me.
Janet's like, it is what it is. Like, it's fine type deal. And to me, it's like, no, it's not fine, because the more that this happens, the more that I hate to keep pushing this term, but the toxic masculinity thing furthers itself, and if these women don't feel protected, especially Black women, then I don't know if we can ever apologize for what we're knowingly doing to them. This wasn't a mistake. You didn't accidentally do something. You saw it happen. You were of age when it happened to formulate an opinion and apologize.
But let me ask you a question. If you mature, let's say you don't apologize. Let's say you do something foul. Let's say could someone recognize and realize, despite the fact that I have a movie coming out and I'm trying to keep my PR up. So I'm killing all that. Just suspend that for a second. Can someone later, after their egregious moment, ever apologize? Or is it kind of
Matt, I honestly, I think these niggas are scared. I think all of these men that were part of the industry during that time.
So that was Justin Timberlake would be who you were referring to.
He's a white nigga. But I think they scared. I think they're all afraid of what public backlash is now. And to me,
you know what I'm afraid of? All the sponsors that just left under the term white niggas.
I think they're all afraid, man. And to me, we shouldn't be housing them. We shouldn't be protecting them. To me, even though Janet was quiet about it and she didn't make it a big deal, she moved on. I don't accept that from them, because to me, it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep repeating itself. And I'm sure that wasn't the last time it happened. So go back through your Rolodex, Justin, and apologize to everyone that I'm sure you offended during that time. People lost out on money. Britney was labeled crazy. He gaslighted her during their breakups. All of this is this is the toxic behavior that men get a bad rep for. So I'm not accepting of an apology right now when it's convenient. Nope. It's Black History Month. We don't have to accept apologies.
Fair enough.
We don't have to accept apologies.
All right, guys, we didn't really talk about this last week, but I did want to know, being from Toronto and a proud Canadian, what did you guys think about the weekend's halftime show? And please be kind.
Look, the weekend is maybe
Your rocker. Are you in your rocker?
Okay, if you want to go with the age joke, sure. The weekend is from another generation, and as a proud Generation Xer, maybe I just missed it. I just don't get it. I felt like I was watching an artist who it's like he's like a studio singer who would sing the demo for the real singer. They're like, okay, it was a demo art. I just felt no energy. I'm not his audience, so maybe that's real disrespectful.
Matt, as the battle rap connoisseur that you are, that's disappointing, man. And what I mean by that is, this guy is all lyrics. He's all emotion, passion. And to me, it's no different from watching the size of Michael Jackson that I did appreciate, Yeah.
Whoa. Did you just say Michael Jackson? I'm Canadian. I can't even believe you just said Michael Jackson.
For sure. And hear me out. The thing is with Mike, everyone loves to put him on this pedestal because of his impact, right? Because of the fan base, right? And I'm not refuting that, right? He was what he was during that time, right? Quite possibly the greatest all-around performer of all time, right? That doesn't mean vocally, not the best dancer of all time. There's a list of things that he doesn't top out at. I think across the board, packaging, great. But when we talk about his actual music and what the music was about, I think that's when he kind of loses me, right? So I can't relate to any "Are You Okay" or Billie Jean is not my lover and all that type of shit, like, right? Like, I don't think Black people as a whole can relate to that. With The Weeknd makes songs that are specifically geared towards real life situations, similar to the Dirty Diana song that Mike had. And that's what I mean by he's all of the sides of Michael Jackson that I appreciated. I love to talk about things that, or listen to things that actually impact us. Not just some heal the world and it could be for anyone, kumbaya shit. No, that's too easy. Give me the dirty, give me the dark. And that's what The Weeknd gave you while the world's largest performance was taking place at the Super Bowl, man.
When referencing Michael Jackson in a comparison like this, why would you go with like Annie, Are You Okay? And Dirty Diana, and then talk about how unrelatable they are? There's countless classic.
Are those not the songs that Mike would have been performing at the Super Bowl? Are those not his biggest songs?
Thriller, Beat It.
Beat It.
Off the Wall. These are all huge songs.
Lyrically, who can relate to these songs? Give me what bar and Beat It you can relate to.
We could.
Give you a bar and Beat It.
Give me
I think you're losing context, Vernon, because Billie Jean came out at a time, for example, which is not his best song, but is a great song. And it did come out at a time when he was being accused of fathering a child that was not his. And so he wrote the song in relation to that. Okay. So you got to give it context.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But as for The Weeknd,
I gave you a list of songs. Like, it wasn't just that one song. It was a list.
Working Day and Night, ABC. Like, I mean, if you need me to make a list, a playlist for you,
these would be the songs that he performed at the Super Bowl.
Vernon, real talk. Are you telling me you think The Weeknd has a better catalog of music than Michael Jackson? Is that what are you telling me that?
Replay value for me? Absolutely.
Michael Jackson performed Jam, We Are the World, Billie Jean.
Sounds like you're getting help. White, Is that help here?
And Heal the World. The point still stands.
Now, no.
He performed. Wait, youngin. Give me a chance there, youngin. Give me a chance. The songs that Michael Jackson performed at the Super Bowl sold multi-millions of albums. As you said, back in the day when people had to go buy one record.
I know, but see, that's not
a download.
That's not what we're debating. We're not debating who sold the most songs off of a single. I'm talking about relatability. I'm talking about something that Black people can actually relate to.
How about entertainment? How about entertaining? How about just keeping me awake? How about keeping me awake?
Thank you.
The problem is if I ask you guys to name 3 songs that The Weeknd performed and take some of the lyrics,
it will sound like one long song.
And that's the problem. You got
wait, Matt. Here's the question: did he do 3 songs?
I thought it was just one.
I got old ears, man. Y'all have old ears. He went back to House of Balloons. He went back to House of Balloons.
Yeah, I can't feel my. You know what, Vernon? I can't feel my face when I listen to this.
And look, I'm gonna give you the duality in it. I can't feel my face like he sings about all the time. Like, this song won a Nickelodeon Teen Choice Award. Like, it was a Kids' Choice favorite. The song is about someone doing cocaine.
So now.
No. The song is about someone doing cocaine. That's why I can't feel his face. So again,
we're happy about that.
I'm saying you're missing the messaging in his music. You're missing.
I know about that song. I'm aware of that record.
Come on, man. Yeah, because that was number 9 on TRL or something. That's why you know about it, man.
I'm just saying, to me, it's like he sounds like, it's like, you know how you can go to the grocery store and you can buy the name brand stuff? Yeah. And then you can buy the off brand, like no name. Like, he's like just music where it's like this it's no name stuff. It's like,
well, one is for 21-year-olds, one is for 8-year-olds. Next topic, please.
All right. Well, bottom line, Vernon, you sound crazy. So what I would like, actually, any of our viewers, if you're watching this on IG, if you're watching this on YouTube, can y'all just comment? Tell me Talk to him. Please. Somebody say something.
Matt, I'm ready for this smoke, Matt. I'll be John Wall in Battle with the or Jon Snow rather in Battle with the Bastards when he charged the army by himself. I'm ready for this, Matt.
Is Clubhouse the new IG Live? If that's the question, I would have to say yes. It's the new hot place, the new hot app on the internet, and it's just a continuation in the long line of hip hop and Black folks making things on the internet hot, from Black Twitter to Snapchat with DJ Khaled when he became the face and hip hop was the face of that. Then you got IG Live and D Nice and Versus, and now Clubhouse. I don't know what I feel about it. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of Clubhouse. It feels like a long conference call that I don't necessarily know if I'm getting much value out of, but it is definitely the hot new place for the cool kids, quote unquote, to be in.
Nah, that's disappointing from you, OG. That's real disappointing from you. How you gonna overlook the OG platform that really started all this in Periscope, man? So the question is Clubhouse the new IG Live? It's, are they done biting Periscope yet? Periscope started all this wave, man. Let's go back to the facts, Jack. So to me, that's cool, but tip your hat to the OGs out here, man. Shout out to the Periscope gang.
I'm really not familiar with Periscope.
I have no clue. I asked Jack, what's Periscope? Okay, this is hilarious. All three people over 45 were like, what's Periscope?
Well, what I love this week is not only are we celebrating Black History Month, but new Black history is being made all the time, including Breonna Daniels being the first Black woman pit crew member at a NASCAR event, which was actually the Daytona 500. So props to you, Breonna. Keep making history.
I mean, that's cool. That's important, especially since it's been in existence since 1948 NASCAR. But I'm also looking forward to Serena Williams beating up on a young Naomi Osaka this week as well, man. Let's keep these GOAT conversations going,
Okay, I'm with that.
I agree with you, Vernon. And speaking of GOAT conversations, I want to go back to an artist named Joshua Johnson who was painting prior to 1798. He's one of the top 5 most famous African-American artists. And his work, like if you would be walking through the Met and you would think these paintings were done by European artists because they're all of white people standing in that quintessential posture that we're used to seeing of that era. But these were all done by a Black artist who wasn't truly recognized until the 1930s. And he had done over 80 paintings. That's some OG Black history. And with that, that brings us to the end of another great episode of Game Point.
I'm Matt Smith.
And I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. Okay, we'll see you next week.